The next segment is courtesy of MedAesthetics Miami, located at the University of Miami Hospital. You can find us online at www.medaestheticsmiami.com or by phone at 305-356-7402. We are also on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
Good afternoon, everyone. This is Rosanna's chat with Ricardo Wilson today. Ricardo is an expert in fitness with an emphasis in nutrition. In particular, he does boxing. And today we will be speaking about the impact of boxing in our health and as a result in our skin. As we mentioned before, these are opinions that are purely those of Ricardo. They do not represent the opinions of MedAesthetics Miami. We like the topic. We think it is a fun topic and an interesting and different activity. But it doesn't necessarily mean that that is a recommendation to you. You make your own decisions. Here we are, Ricardo.
Hi, how are you?
How are you today, Ricardo? Great.
I'm doing well, thank you.
Awesome. Well, as I mentioned to the listeners right now, today we will be talking about the impact of boxing in our general health and our skin. As a fitness expert with an emphasis in nutrition, we'd like to hear your thoughts. So, how does boxing help us? Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Absolutely. Well, boxing does a lot for you, both physiologically and mentally and everything. One of the major things that boxing does is it helps reduce stress, and obviously with reducing stress, there's a lot of health benefits that go along with that. Boxing is also great for learning a sport. Great for cardiovascular exercise, great for high intensity interval training. I mean, boxing is probably, not being biased, but it's definitely one of the most complete exercises you're going to get. Some of the best conditioned athletes are boxers, wrestlers, and sprinters.
Does that mean you move all your muscles? How is it one of the most complete?
Absolutely. It works the entire body, both mentally and physically. There's a lot of things that you've got to take yourself through mentally to be able to box, not just compete, but actually just train with that style of training. It's very intense. It's fun. It's rewarding, but it is intense.
Well, actually, a friend of mine was joking the other day that when she was mad at someone, she actually does boxing. She will imagine the face of the person and just punching that face. So it was really funny. So she is a woman. So, I am always curious as to, is it for men? Is it for women? What do you think about that?
Well, boxing is for everyone. Here at my facility, we have people as young as 12, and we have, I think our oldest member is 72, and he actually gets in and he actually does spar. So that's, actually throwing punches and getting punches thrown back at you. Now, obviously not everyone does that, but, he chooses to, and, that's what helps keep him moving. And he's actually a heart surgeon. So, he knows and fully understands the risks and the benefits. So, we have men and women of all ages. I mean, we have girls as young as 13 or 14, I think is the youngest one here. And, we have women as well past their 50s still coming in here. So we appeal to a lot of people, and boxing reaches out to a very broad audience. You don't really realize the audience that you reach until you're into it.
And what if you hit your head? Or someone hits your head? What happens? Is that a bad thing?
Well, again, not everybody chooses to do physical contact. I mean, it's not necessary to learn the art. It's only necessary if you want to compete. So if you're not trying to compete, it doesn't, you don't have to worry about that.
And how about sweating? I imagine you sweat a lot while you're boxing, right?
Absolutely. You're gonna sweat a lot. But sweating is good. I mean, and since we're talking about skincare, sweating actually helps get out a lot of the toxins that are held into your body. It opens up the pores and pushes out the toxins. But you got to make sure that when you're doing that, you want to make sure that you don't have clothes that are sticking to you or rubbing on you too much. You don't want to go home still all sweaty. It's better to wash that off as soon as possible, or your skin could reabsorb all the toxins that you just worked so hard to get out.
That's right. That makes so much sense and explains a lot of things. do you get any bruises when when the punching and none of that? And what do you do about that?
You could there could be some bruising, but it's not, again, if you're not doing the contact side of it, you're not going to get too beat up. But if you are actually sparring and getting into more of the sport of boxing and learning how to get hit and defend, there are going to be bruises and scratches and things like that. And what you do is there's a compound arnica. Arnica is really good. It's a salve from plant-based salve that actually helps reduce swelling, trauma, and bruising. It's very very highly used in the holistic medicine. Even in hospitals and things like that, they have compounds with arnica in them as well. You can get it in a salve or even in a pill. Another good thing is bromelain. You can find that naturally in pineapple.
Oh, that's a natural anti-inflammatory, right?
Yes.
So I guess, you were talking about boxing and skincare and how does it, and releasing of toxins, and I've seen people who actually, they get home so sweaty, they don't clean it up properly, so they get a little rash in the back, and I would guess, it's, as you say, the ideal thing here would be to wash it off immediately, but going back into skincare, well, how do you relate the boxing and the skin and in different inflammatory conditions of the skin and things like that?
Extremely simple to kind of correlate the two. Boxing you can look at as an exercise. So what does exercise do? Exercise increases blood flow. Blood flow carries oxygen and nutrients to the cells. The skin is one of the biggest organisms, is the biggest actual organism that we have in our body, which means that it has a lot of cells. And if we're increasing oxygen and increasing nutrients and increasing the blood flow, it's going to help the skin. It can help even with conditions like acne and even eczema, obviously, because we're bringing more circulation to it. We're helping healing. We're bringing more blood flow. All of those things are needed to help these kind of skin conditions. So
Right. That is awesome. And anything else you'd like to share with us today?
The main thing that I would if I had a skin condition, or if any of the listeners have skin conditions, is to make sure that you wear wet clothing and dress appropriately in not just boxing, but any kind of sport. With all these companies and all these clothing lines, like Under Armour and things like that, those things will help prevent chafing and heat rash and things like that. And, wet clothes, again, help you keep those toxins and keep that sweat off of your body as much as possible. The other thing is, when you're working out, ladies, don't wear makeup. Makeup is terrible for you because it's gonna clog up those pores, and you're working all that energy out to try to sweat everything out, and you're just clogging it up by wearing that makeup. You don't want to have those kind of things blocking your skin.
Awesome. Well, that's just great information, Ricardo. I don't have any more questions for you. If you have anything else to tell us, that would be wonderful in the last few minutes in the show.
Well, one thing I would like to really express is that, don't use your skin conditions, if you have any, as an excuse not to exercise, because the benefits of exercise far outweigh the risk and what, the poor things that can happen from exercise. There's, all of these different benefits that you get out of exercise. Besides, just reducing stress alone will help any skin condition you have, because, your body reacts to stress physiologically, and, sometimes it's through the forms of breakouts in the skin. You want to reduce as much stress as you can. You want to keep your pH levels fine. So, exercise helps do that as well with dieting. But exercise is a major key. And, people go back and forth between diet and exercise and 80-20 and this and that. But at the end of the day, you can't just do one. You have to have them both. So
if somebody wants to reach you, I think you have a Punch. Your studio's name Punch, right?
Yes. The easiest way to get a hold of us is visit the website at www.punchboxingmiami.com and then click Contact Us, or you can even register for a class. Your first class is free. Just follow the prompts on the website.
Thank you so much, Ricardo. It's been very informative. Thank you for being here. It's been a pleasure. Have a great day.
Thank you. You too.
Thank you for listening. We are Med Aesthetics Miami, located at the University of Miami Hospital. You can reach us online at www.medaestheticsmiami.com or by phone at 305-356-7402. We look forward to hearing from you and sharing our next segment with you.